Hey guys! I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are in the world. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. I'm so grateful that you guys are listening, subscribing, and commenting on my channel. I really appreciate the support. In this video, I wanted to speak to you guys about INFJs and how we expect to be abandoned. It's something that is an ingrained belief inside ourselves based on our unworthiness or based on past history or based on our life experiences. But we have this inherent belief in ourselves that dissipates very rarely, or if it does dissipate, it takes a long time and a lot of self-care and a lot of self-love. But there is this inherent belief in ourselves, that we are going to be abandoned no matter what we do, no matter how things go, no matter how good we are or how bad we are, no matter how kind we are, no matter how much we take care of the people around us, no matter what we do or who we are, we're going to be eventually abandoned. And that is the belief system that we go into every relationship with. And can you imagine what negativity that is? Can you imagine going into every relationship with that sort of idea? Oh, right, yes, I'm going to be abandoned. It's going to happen. It's inevitable that it's going to happen. And so we're just kind of waiting for that other shoe to drop. This person says that they love us and they want to be with us forever, or they love us and they're friends with us and we're going to be friends forever. We're besties forever. And we hear all of these words coming at us like machine guns, like the rattle of a machine gun. And we kind of sit there and we listen to those words and we take it in. And no matter how many times this individual says these words to us of endearment and love and wanting to be with us, there is always this background voice, this noise inside of our head, this white noise, if you want to call it, that's constantly telling us that this person's going to abandon us eventually. It's going to happen. No matter what they say right now in this moment in time, their feelings are going to change. They're going to discover who we truly are. They're going to discover that we're not as awesome as they think we are right now. As soon as we start showing them our true self or revealing a little bit of those layers that we peel off, they're going to realize that we're not the person that they thought we were, and they're going to leave. They're going to abandon us. They're going to reject us and leave. And this belief in us is so strong that we're just basically going into every relationship with that belief system in place and just waiting for it to happen. We got into a relationship because that person was really persistent, really adamant that they wanted to be with us. All right, fine. We're going to get into a relationship with you. We're going to do it because we know eventually they're going to leave anyways. They're going to discover us, truly who we are, and they're going to leave. That's fine. So let's just go into it with that perception in mind. And that's one of the things that I do that I've been actually really trying to improve upon for myself, is that I go into every relationship with this idea in my head. And that's one of the reasons I never get truly attached to anyone, or I never really think that this person's going to be there in my life for the rest of eternity, because I know eventually that they're going to leave anyways. Now, I'm not saying that they're always going to leave because they're going to abandon us or because they reject us. Sometimes life happens and the person moves to a different country, or they get married, or they have children, or something happens to perhaps distract them for the fact that they are our friends or they're our partners, and then they move on. They move to a different country and our long distance relationship perhaps doesn't work out, or they fall in love with someone else, or they just realize that our friendship is just too much trouble to take care of and our friendship dissipates. And so every single time I go into any sort of relationship with another human being or anything else, any kind of item even, or an animal or whatever it might be, I know that the relationship is a temporary thing. It is something that's going to be there for a few moments, a few seconds, a few days, weeks, months, maybe even a few years, but eventually it is going to end. And not only because I'm going to die eventually and all of my relationships will end at that point, obviously, but also because other people will die, other people will leave, other people will move, other people will find someone else. And so, as I said, every single time I get into any relationship, I go into it with a sentiment that this is going to eventually end, and so I shouldn't get too attached to it. And this sentiment, that I'm not going to get too attached to it because they're going to leave eventually anyways, or this relationship is going to break eventually anyways, it's a negative way of looking at the world, because you go into every relationship with no attachment, and therefore that other person on the other end thinks that you don't really care about them. And this has happened to me many times in many different kinds of relationships, where the person tries to test me and they're like, oh, I'm going to leave, and are you going to be sad about it? And they want me to say, obviously, yes, I'm going to be sad. I don't want you to leave. I want you to stay. But of course, as an INFJ, we're already expecting that they were going to leave. And so this is just a proof that they're going to leave, and they're leaving right now. And okay, cool. All right, I was expecting this. I knew that you were going to leave. I knew you were going to abandon me or reject me or leave. And so cool, it's happening. I'm fine with it. You can leave now. It's all right. I can deal with this. I'm strong enough to deal with this because I've dealt with this kind of relationship breakdowns many times. And so goodbye. And so we do it in a very robotic, cold fashion a lot of times. And then the person leaves because they think that we don't actually really truly care. But of course, we do really care. But we are using this cold facade of ourselves in order to protect ourselves from this constant rejecting and abandoning and breakdown of relationships that happens consistently and is going to keep on happening consistently, because you are a human being that is alive on this planet, right? Suffering is a part of life. What I wanted to do this video for was because I wanted you guys to realize that if you're going into every relationship with the forewarned idea that that relationship is going to end, then you're not going to put as much effort into that relationship as you would if you imagine that the relationship is going to last forever. Now, I'm not saying that every relationship is going to last forever. In fact, you might be right. A lot of your relationships are going to end. Your friends will move on and find other friends. Your relationships are going to move on and find other people to hang out with. Your parents are going to move on and find other things to do. So things will end, relationships will end, and that's absolutely all right, because that's just a part of life. Even if we know that relationships are going to end, I want us to, as INFJs, go into every relationship with the idea, this perfect idea in our head, that yes, this relationship is going to last forever. Even if I know deep down within that this relationship will not last, because no relationship can last for an eternity, because either you die or they die or something happens, So even though you have this knowledge, this knowing that the relationship will not last for an eternity, it is better to go into every relationship with the sentiment that it is, because that means that you're going to spend more time and more energy and more effort on the relationship. And that is going to inculcate, or that's going to translate into that other person knowing and realizing that you really care about them. Because right now what we're doing is we're sending out signs and signals, because of our theory that this relationship is going to end anyways, that we're sending out all these signs and signals that, you're going to abandon me anyways, you're going to reject me or leave me soon anyways, so why should I bother putting too much effort into this relationship? And this is one of the messages I get from non-INFJs consistently. I've been getting emails from you guys for a long time now, years now, and this is the consistent theme that happens in all of the non-INFJ emails that I get, that they don't know if their INFJ actually even cares about them, right? And because we're so afraid of commitment, we're in these wishy-washy relationships with people. We don't let them know that we really care because we're afraid that they're going to abandon us. We don't really put all of our efforts, all of our eggs in one basket, because we're afraid that they're going to leave us. And so we go into all these wishy-washy relationships with the other person being so uncomfortable because they have no idea if we actually truly even care about the person, right? And so eventually, yes, it does end, because that other person has no idea that you really do want to be with them, because you've never actually given a clear signal or a sign to them that you care, because you're holding this abandonment issue within you as a sort of self-defense wall, this sort of boundary that keeps everyone out, right? And so I really want us to start thinking about this and start moving into relationships in the future, and even if you are in a relationship right now, to move into it with a sort of idea that yes, this relationship is going to last, even if it might not. You're going into it with the idea that it will, because then you are going to be able to put more into the relationship, and you're going to be able to give that solace, that peace to the other person on the other end, the non-INFJ or the INFJ that you're dating, and that person can know, yes, this person truly cares about me, and they're not waiting for that other shoe to drop. They're not waiting for this relationship to break apart, which is basically what INFJs are always doing in a relationship. Because of this mentality that we have, that we're going to be eventually abandoned, we expect it to happen, we know it's going to happen, we have this deep knowing that it's going to happen, and so we just go into every relationship with that sort of wishy-washiness. And I don't like that, because we're not those kind of people. And also, I don't like it because it hurts the other individual on the other end. And that's one of the things, the pain and the misery in the emails that I get constantly is what really hurts me, because I see this person, this non-INFJ, who really cares about this INFJ, and they really want to be in a relationship with them and really want to propagate the relationship long term. But because the INFJ on the other end is so wishy-washy about it, because they're so afraid of rejection, because they're so afraid of abandonment, that they don't put all their oars in one boat. That does not make sense. They don't put all their eggs in one basket, and they just are so afraid of committing that this person, this non-INFJ, has no idea what to do with it. And because they don't want to, waste their time on a relationship that might never come to fruition, they leave. And thus, a lot of INFJs end up being alone and lonely. And a lot of it has to do with the fact that we actually made it happen. We didn't commit completely to this person who wants to be with us. And we're always complaining as INFJs, oh my God, I'm so alone, no one wants to be with me. Whereas when people actually want to be with you, you reject them, and you don't actually give them a clear sign that, it's okay, I want to be with you as well. And so we're stuck in this vicious cycle where if anyone even comes close to us, we just don't let them in. And therefore they leave. And then we end up being alone and lonely, and we complain and cry about it. And then some other person might try to come into our zone or come into our life, and we reject them and we abandon them and we don't let them in to our boundaries and to our walls. And then again, they leave, and then we complain about being alone and lonely. And I just think to myself, we're doing this to ourselves. We're actually making it happen for ourselves. We're not letting this person into our lives, and therefore, of course, it's happening over and over again. Obviously, the solution to this is, as I said, to just make this commitment in your head that yes, every relationship that is in my life right now, it's not going to result in abandonment. It's fine if it does, and that's something to worry about in the future. You don't have to worry about that right now. You can do what you need to do right now, which is take care of this person that is within your vicinity right now. Don't worry about your future relationships. Don't worry about what's going to happen in the future. Just be with this person right now and be fully committed so they know that you really care and they can stick around with that mentality in your relationship. All right? I hope this makes sense to you guys. I just really wanted to share the irony of our loneliness, because a lot of our loneliness is brought upon ourselves by ourselves because of the things that we do. If you guys have any questions about this video or any other video at all, please do message me. All of my contact information is in the description below, and I shall see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.